Since the last time we spoke, we've had the World Match Play, which certainly didn't go to plan for you. We spoke beforehand about the fact that behind closed doors, whether that would affect you without the passion of the fans. Was that a factor when you got to Milton Keynes last time?
I don't think it was the fact that there was no fans. The fact that there was fans in the background that weren't there, and the sound, I think that was a little bit off-putting for me. I've spoken to a couple of the players who weren't keen on it either. You know, for me, it just felt like I was playing at the beach in Blackpool. Like, you know, it just all muffled in the background, and yeah, I need the adrenaline and the crowd behind me. But in the Pro Tours, I don't need that, and I still play well. But to have the sound there, and it was just a bit off-putting, I think, for myself.
The fact that you went out in the first round, the fact that you probably needed a round or something just to scrape through and get used to it, and suddenly by the time it was suddenly there, and next minute,
I think that's the same with any tournament. The first round is always the toughest one, and once you get through the first round, then you sort of come into your game a bit. But I don't know. I think just not playing well. I played well in the autumn in the summer series, but I never really got the latter stages of tournaments. People were playing a bit better than me, and towards, I think, the last two tournaments, I played really, really well. Got to the final one, and I'm not sure about the one before, but I was just not confident going into the match play, having been off for so long. And sometimes the crowd and the adrenaline can help you and pull you through games, but just the setup and no atmosphere, and obviously the false crowd. I think the PDC could have just played the false crowd to the TV. I don't understand why they need it for the players. I mean, if we're going to play in a Pro Tour and be really quiet, I'm sure that's the way we could play in these majors and just feed the sound to the TV. I'm not sure if they're able to do that, but I don't know. I just think that sound of in the background was a little bit off-putting, and I just didn't really enjoy it.
You're back there next week in exactly the same circumstances, in exactly the same situation, the same crowd noise, and you need to hit the ground running in the Premier League.
Yeah, but I mean, 2020 is probably a write-off as of now, and I mean, it's not the be-all and end-all if I don't get to the playoffs in the Premier League. But I can just use the Premier League now as good practice leading up to some hopefully some majors that are going on towards the end of the year. Obviously, I'm going to be there. I'm going to want to win, and I don't want to lose. But for me, these are just a few practice sessions now.
It had been a tricky start to you already, the Premier League. Strange enough, you were sort of shadow of what the Gerwyn Price we'd become used to, and sort of to be having only won one match out of 6 is bizarre to be talking to you about that, because it's just nothing like you have been. Any reason for that at all? Was there? Just luck or whatever?
It's just it's a different tournaments and different mindset. I mean, Premier League it's a long old tournament. It's week in, week out. The first year I played in it, I absolutely hated it, and then sort of found my feet the year after and thought I was going to do a bit better this year. But you know, it's tough playing against the best players week in, week out, and you need to be on top of your game. And if you're that 1% off, then you're not going to win games. I was lucky enough, I think, to draw a few this time against Dalgurney, certainly in Cardiff. I pinched a draw there, but yeah, it's just week in, week out, and it's tough. But I'm enjoying it. I love playing in the Premier League now, but I don't know, hopefully I can just get a couple of wins. I've been playing now, I think it's going to be 5 or 6 on the bounce. You know, just see how they go. But I'm not putting myself under too much pressure. I'm just going to, like I said, use these as good practice leading on to the rest of the year.
Curiously, that your one victory was a 7-1 win over Peter, right? It's been a Premier League of contrast for you. Again, it might help you, the fact that there's these clusters of matches that you might get used to the situation and get a result under your belt, and then who knows?
Yeah, well, that's it. Is the Premier League is just one game every week, and you don't get a second chance. You know, a day after in the Pro Tour, you know, you can play 7 games in one day, and then if you lose on the Saturday, you've got another chance the day after. But Premier League, you're having to wait a week, and you're putting yourself under a lot of pressure. But these 5 or 6 on the bounce might help, but I'm not sure. It's still only one game a day.
You've also acknowledged the fact that you're looking forward to other majors, that this is a practice session for other majors. You must have an eye on a 3rd Grand Slam. I mean, a hat-trick would be such a wonderful thing to achieve for you. I mean, have you sort of got one eye on that already?
Yeah, I'll just be disappointed to be playing it in Milton Keynes, really. Yeah, I think that's probably where most of the majors are going to be played now up until the end of the year. Hopefully things can change by then, but you know, if I go and lose the Grand Slam in Milton Keynes, I've still never lost in Wolverhampton, so there's a positive.
There's ways of finding positives and everything, isn't there? There really is. Wolverhampton, it must be very romantic for you, Wolverhampton. It must be such a special feeling for you there now.
I just like the format of the tournament. Like I said, you can lose a game, but you're still in. So it's not the be all and end all. And you know, if you in any other tournament, the first game's always the toughest. And if you lose, you're gone. But there's no pressure on the first game to get you into the tournament. If you lose, you can still qualify in, even if you lose a game, you can still qualify in top place. But yeah, playing that round robin sort of situation, I think suits me. And when I'm confident, I'm a much better player. And yeah, I think playing in that tournament in Wolverhampton, I'm full of confidence.
Gerwyn Price was very much on the rise. You made the World Championship semi-final last year. You were sort of touted by many to go on and get to the final and win that this year, maybe. And you seem to be on the ascendancy. Are you really annoyed that 2020's sort of just been ripped out of your life and out of your career because you were on that? Were you worried it might affect you?
I don't think I'm as annoyed as Peter Wright. Having been world champion for the first time and not even playing half the year. But you know, we're all in the same boat. It's all for a reason, for the safety. And you know, as long as 2021 starts off well and we can just get back to normality next year, then that's what I'm looking forward to. But you know, this year it's not finished yet. But for me, I'm just gonna plow on till the end of the year and look forward to 2021.
Is that a useful tool for you psychologically, just to sort of write this year off in your mind, so that as you've mentioned before, it relieves the pressure and you can just go and try and enjoy and make what you can out of this year?
Exactly. I think most of the players play off momentum and confidence, and no matter how many hours you put on the board, if you're not playing matches and you're not playing against the best players in the world, then you're not confident going into games. And I mean, with the big gaps in between so many tournaments, like what we've been off now another 5-6 weeks before we play next week, you know, nobody's going to be confident going in. So it's just a toss a coin who's going to win these games, and whoever gets out the blocks the quickest. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to having a full schedule for next year, hopefully, and know what's coming and just get our momentum again. And I think stop starting is not going to help any player, really.
We are also aware that Gerwyn Price may not have been winning legs over the past few weeks since the match play, but you've been sort of watching 4 legs and your greyhound. So Grand Slam champion, is that your greyhound, and it's been running pretty decent, has it?
Yeah, I bought the dog about 3, 4, 5 weeks ago, something like that, maybe about a month ago, and it's still out in Ireland. I bought it off Kevin Hennessy and his dad Paul. No, I don't expect miracles with a dog, but you know he's in the derby. He's got a chance. He scraped through last week. He needs to break really quick and hit the lids and let them try and catch him. But luckily he came from behind last time, which I didn't expect. And he's running Saturday night now, and he's coming from trap 5, but he needs inside, so it's going to be really, really tough for him. I don't think he'll win the race, but I'm hoping he can finish in the top 3. But yeah, I love the greyhounds. I love. It's just a pity with this look. With you can't even go to Dublin now. You have to lock down for 2 weeks, so it's a pity I can't even go there to watch. But I'll be watching over the live stream, I think.
Is it something you expand? You'll do more of? Is it you maybe have a? Do they have, what do they call, a kennel of dogs in greyhounds? Is that something? Like,
well, I'm hoping I haven't got the time to do that next year or for the rest of this year. But no, a woman over the Rhondda in Wales looks after a couple of dogs of mine that we go flapping track down in Ystrad. But I think she's looking to get her professional license, and then I don't know, maybe just go traveling with her, doing the professional dogs. But no, I'm just happy now that Paul's got a couple of dogs for me. Tony Taylor's got 2 dogs for me down in Hove, and yeah, I enjoy watching them running. And if they don't win, they don't win. But you know, the main thing is that they enjoy their running and they get looked after, you know, when they retire as well.
Will a Grand Slam champion be a big celebrating dog? Will it jump over other dogs and make a big scene after it's won, like Gerwyn Price? Or
well, I don't know if he looks at me, he'll probably start doing it. But if he gets to the final, I think I'll be more happy than when I won the Grand Slam, to be honest with you. Because yeah, he's a good little dog. He's really small, but you know, he runs well. I'm not expecting miracles from him, but hopefully he can just squeeze through a few rounds, and yeah, he might do a few backflips when he wins.
Another question I didn't think I'd be asking a dart player in 2020, and there's been quite a lot this year, is that whether your biggest aim for next year will be to be more successful than your dog. That's an aim for you.
Yeah. No, like I said, I'm still going to be targeting majors this year and some of the Pro Tours and mainly all the ranking events. But Premier League, I haven't wrote the Premier League off, but it's not a be-all and end-all. Like I said, I'm going to use this as a good practice, and hopefully I can stay in it till the end and make the qualifiers, make the playoffs, and get the final and hopefully win it. But I'm just going to concentrate on this as a practice session, lead into some of the bigger tournaments where the ranking points mean a lot more.